Rabbits are so cute and amazing. Just look at those awesome ears. But should we be concerned about how we handle them? Let's find out in this video. When your rabbit stands up on his hind legs, almost like a little meerkat, he is not asking to be picked up. He's just trying to get higher so he can see what's happening around him. It's curiosity and it's situational awareness. It's part of a rabbit's base nature, part of his self-preservation, and it's not an invitation to lift him off the ground. When your rabbit gets comfortable with you and used to a feeding or a treat schedule, you might also see him standing on his hind legs, sniffing into the air. This topic of body language is often misunderstood by humans, so let's talk about it. In the wild, when a predator catches a rabbit, the rabbit often is lifted from the ground quickly. In that moment, the rabbit experiences absolute terror. It's a life or death situation. When we lift our rabbit, especially unexpectedly, what do you think his nervous system is experiencing? Rabbits are ground animals. They feel safest with all four paws firmly on the floor. To understand what's happening when you pick up a rabbit, you have to learn to speak their language instead of forcing them to speak ours. That means understanding rabbit body language. If you can learn to recognize fear or panic, sometimes visible just in their eyes, you'll naturally stop picking them up every time a guest comes over or a child enters the room. Instead, sit on the floor. Let the rabbit approach you. Let trust happen at their pace, unless picking them up is truly necessary. Rabbits are prey animals at their base. That biology doesn't just disappear because they live in our homes. Prey animals require a specific level of gentleness, awareness, and respect in how they're handled. Rabbits can absolutely become accustomed to gentle handling by humans. There are times when we have to pick them up. Medical care, grooming, emergencies, cleaning their enclosure. When you do pick up the rabbit, watch closely for signs of stress. Struggling, kicking, biting, freezing. Watch the eyes. Eyes widening is a sign of stress. Those are not signs of a bad rabbit, and they certainly aren't signs of enjoyment. They're signs of fear. Let's talk honestly about children and rabbits. Children should always be supervised around rabbits. If you get a rabbit for your child, that rabbit is going to be your responsibility for many years to come. Children often mishandle rabbits, not out of cruelty, but because they lack understanding. They may squeeze too hard or even drop the rabbit, which causes harm. Most will quickly lose interest as the days and weeks pass after they're given a rabbit by their parents. Children want to pick up rabbits and hold them, so they do the one thing that will cause the rabbit constant stress, fear, and even harm. Too often, rabbits gifted to children end up alone in backyard cages after scratching, biting, or otherwise defending itself against a child who meant no harm. From there, the animal suffers until the end of what will surely be a too short life. This is exactly why so many experienced rabbit owners and caretakers speak out against rabbits being given as gifts, especially during the holidays like Easter or Christmas. Unless someone has truly done their due diligence and learned proper rabbit care, they are not ready to bring one of these gentle, complex animals into their home. When a child gets scratched or bitten after mishandling a rabbit, the animal is often blamed. Parents then label the rabbit aggressive. They will regret their mistake, thinking this creature is the worst pet ever. And just like that, the rabbit is no longer part of the family. All of that can be avoided with responsible education before bringing a rabbit into the home. When you do need to pick up your rabbit, here's how to do it safely and respectfully. First, approach your rabbit slowly and calmly. Sudden movements trigger fear. Second, gently pet your rabbit, preferably on the forehead. This mimics grooming behavior, which is calming for rabbits who live in bonded pairs or groups. It builds trust. Third, place one hand under the rabbit's chest just behind the front legs. Place your other hand under its hind quarters. Fourth, lift slowly and gently, keeping your rabbit close to your body once you pick him up. This is extremely important. Holding a rabbit close helps them feel secure and prevents them from launching away in panic. Rabbit launching away from you can cause broken legs, spinal injuries, and even death. It is always best practice and safest to sit down while holding any rabbit. Rabbits have been known to launch off of tables or other high furniture just because they are so frightened. While holding them, keep a gentle but firm grip on them, and again, keep them close to your body when you must hold them. Fifth, speak softly. Rabbits are highly sensitive to sound. People who are loud or energetic need to be especially mindful around your pet rabbit. As the rabbit's guardian, you are responsible for how others behave around your pets. It's okay to ask people to lower their voices, move slowly, move more calmly. There's another topic about handling your pet rabbit that absolutely must be addressed, or should I say, mishandling a rabbit. Shockingly, this still happens. There are still those people who pick up rabbits by their ears. It was a cruel practice throughout history, and it's still a cruel practice today. In fact, it's worse today because we now know the ramifications and the harm it does to the animal. About 5 years ago, while reviewing online veterinary videos, I came across one that made my stomach drop. A man presenting himself as an animal expert lifted a rabbit into the air by its ears and held it there as a demonstration while he went on and on, sharing his so-called rabbit expertise. As every compassionate person knows, it doesn't matter whether that rabbit was considered livestock or part of a 4-H program or whether it was a companion animal. What matters is that this was being shown as acceptable handling. Picking up a rabbit by its ears is not acceptable. It's outright cruelty, regardless what the rabbit's purpose is in someone's life. A rabbit's ears are fragile. They're made of primarily cartilage, skin, and blood vessels. They help regulate body temperature and play a critical role in survival. Lifting a rabbit by the ears causes pain, internal damage, tearing, bruising, and it can lead to permanent injury. As rabbits are quiet animals, you may not even know the level of pain they're in. If you ever see someone handling a rabbit by the ears, you can be certain of one thing. That person is either deeply uninformed or deeply cruel. Keeping rabbits alive for years does not make someone an expert. Compassion, education, hands-on experience, best care practices, and respect for the species is a good start. Owning a rabbit has become more common over the last few decades. Credible information about these animals has improved, at least in some areas. Some professional groomers now offer rabbit grooming services, but even this requires special knowledge. Grooming a rabbit is much different than grooming a cat, dog, or other animal. As an example, a groomer must understand how fragile a rabbit's skin is and how easily it can tear. Grooming requires patience, care, and a quiet, calm environment. In most cases, rabbits should never be bathed. They are meticulous self-groomers. Bathing is stressful and dangerous for them. If a groomer offers bathing as a routine service for a rabbit, that's your sign to walk away. Find someone who knows at least the basics of proper care and handling. The only time gentle washing might be appropriate is when a rabbit is elderly, disabled, or suffering from a condition that prevents proper self-cleaning, and even then it should be minimal and done very gently. Sometimes rabbits are used for therapy animals in nursing homes, calm environments, and even activities like rabbit yoga. When done thoughtfully with well-socialized rabbits in quiet settings, this can be enriching. The owners or caretakers of those rabbits need to slowly acquaint the rabbit with being transported to and from those activities, as well as getting them used to socializing with other humans. Caretakers must watch to ensure that no harm comes to the rabbit. Most people are unfamiliar with how to properly handle rabbits and keep them safe. Using a rabbit for public entertainment always carries a risk, and humans need to ask themselves a really tough question. Am I doing this for the benefit of my animal, or am I doing it to get attention? County fairs are a painful example of humans placing their own interests above the rabbit's welfare. Rabbits at fairs are most often confined to tiny cages in sweltering heat, surrounded by noise and chaos. Rabbits cannot sweat. They wear a full fur coat at all times. Temperatures above about 80 degrees Fahrenheit can be deadly for them. Humans do not have a good track record when it comes to how these animals are treated throughout history. That's why I've spent over a decade every single day working hands-on with rabbits, rehabilitating them, bonding them, and teaching best care practices. In fact, I wrote a book a few years ago, which is always linked in the description box of these videos. It's fun, entertaining, family-friendly, and it's full of best care practices for pet rabbit ownership. I'm not alone. There are countless rescuers, caretakers, and veterinarians working to change the narrative about these misunderstood animals. Hopefully, you take excellent care of your pet rabbit, respecting the biology, the base nature, and accommodating for that in your home. History is corrected all the time. In the case of rabbits, there's good reason to correct historic information. Thanks to so many kind and compassionate people working hard to correct that dark past, today we know better, and so we should do better. Kindness matters.